10 tips for crossbow success. That's this episode of Death by Bunjie. Again. I don't consider myself any kind of an expert with crossbows or crossbow hunting or anything like that, but I have been hunting with this crossbow with Bunjie here since 2010. This will be our 7th year heading into Penn's Woods here, looking for deer in the fall crossbow season here in Pennsylvania. Crossbows have been legal since 2009 in Pennsylvania. I have, over those 6 years of experience so far, picked up a few little tips, a few little tidbits that I want to share with you in this video. Number 10 is, the law is your friend. Now that doesn't just apply to game laws and regulations when you're out there hunting. You want to make sure you understand all the law. You don't want to get out and hunt and then have a problem, have some kind of unforeseen circumstance come up and you don't know how to handle it and you make a bad decision and get in trouble with the law. You don't want that. Equally important when you're hunting with crossbows, they're not legal everywhere, and even in the places where they are legal, like here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, they do have certain restrictions on them because they're a relatively new hunting weapon. So you want to make sure that you fully understand the regulations for the area in which you hunt. Number 9, rain and wind are not your friends. Let me tell you what, something about archery hunting, any kind of archery equipment like crossbow hunting, if you're out there in bad conditions, that's part of hunting. You can hunt in those bad conditions. But rain can affect the accuracy of your crossbow. Wind definitely affects the accuracy of your arrows. You want to make sure that you're protecting yourself, that the crossbow rail stays dry if you're out there hunting in rain. And in the wind, you want to make sure you're taking shots in a sheltered area where the trees are blocking most of the wind so that you can maintain accuracy. Rain and wind get in the way of that, so be careful when you're out in the field with rain and wind. Number 8, don't get caught up in the latest and greatest. It's real easy when you're looking at crossbows and looking at crossbow hunting. Every season you want a new crossbow. When I bought Bunjie here, this was a 305 feet per second crossbow, which was pretty much top of the line, especially if you're looking for a recurve crossbow. Today they make 400 feet per second plus. So it's real easy for me every season to go look at the new crossbows and think, wow, I need a new crossbow. But the reality is, Bunjie here, I liken it to my old Ford 8N tractor. That tractor is 65 years old, still plays a very important role in this place, taking care of this place, does pretty much everything I want to do. Bunjie here is more than adequate at 305 feet per second to kill a deer. Same thing with broadheads. I recommend that you stick with what the manufacturer recommends for your make, your model of crossbow. The manufacturers of these crossbows, they know what works with their make and their model of crossbow. If you stick to what those manufacturers recommend, you won't be disappointed. Number 7. Scent free is also your friend. When you're hunting with archery equipment, you got to get up close and personal with the deer. A little breeze like this blows body odor and blows all that smells, those smells that you pick up in your car, at your house. It blows those odors all over the place. Scent free is very important. There are a lot of videos on YouTube about scent free, and I'll be doing a video of my own here, hopefully in the near future, about how to maintain scent free and show you what I do to maintain my own scent free regimen. Number 6, this is one nobody wants to hear, but the reality is this. Anytime you're hunting with any kind of equipment, you will lose deer. It is going to happen. Don't get discouraged. It's not the end of the world. You have to sort of do everything you can going into your crossbow season to make sure that your equipment is up to snuff, that you are ready to hunt with that crossbow. If you do that, you've done everything you can do on your end. Bad things are going to happen, mistakes are going to happen. Use it as an opportunity to reevaluate what you're doing and make sure that you made the right decisions. I have lost a few deer over the years, and every time that it has happened to me, I can look back and I can tell you exactly what went wrong, what I did wrong. I honestly don't believe equipment failure was a part of any of it. You have to take responsibility for these things and look for a way to sort of fix it for next time. My number 5 tip for crossbow hunting: deer love apples. and corn and brassicas and turnips and clover and all the natural native vegetation that grows out there. A lot of that they eat too. They love acorns. Don't forget that deer are slaves to their stomach. They are going to be looking for food all the time, even when the rut is approaching, and even during the rut. You're going to have to be around the food sources. Food sources are very important to any wild animal. Deer are no exception. Use that to your advantage. Again, crossbow hunting, archery hunting in general, is about getting close, up close and personal with those deer. Nothing works better for getting deer in a certain area. Nothing works better than food. For getting deer positioned in a certain way, in a location where you can take a good shot. Nothing works better than food for that. So keep that in mind as you go out there and you set up your hunting strategies. In a lot of places in the United States, it's legal to bait. Here in Pennsylvania, I can't bait deer where I am in Pennsylvania. But I do go to Maryland every year, and I've had good success there, even though you have a lot of agriculture where I hunt. There's places where I can put out a little corn pile, throw a little bit of swamp donkey on top of that corn pile, and attract deer to a certain spot. They got tons of deer. Baiting is legal. I wouldn't advocate it. And if it's not legal, then don't do it. But if it's legal, it might be something you want to take advantage of to improve your chances of success with crossbow hunting. Number 4, only take good shots. Now, I know that sounds like an awful lot to ask, but the reality is if you only take good shots, you are going to take your success level from here clear to the top. You are going to be really, really successful if you only take good shots. It took me a little while to realize this. It took me a little while to get comfortable with the concept of, hey, when I lose a deer, it has to do with me taking a bad shot 9 times out of 10. Only shoot the deer when they're where you want them to be, when they are in position to take a good shot. If you're new to crossbow hunting, that is a broadside shot and a broadside shot only, preferably a broadside shot where they're slightly quartering away from you, so you can tuck that arrow behind the shoulder and not have a problem with that. Keep that in mind in your crossbow hunting, but only take good shots. The way I look at it, the way Bunjie looks at it, is that when we are out there hunting, we want to make sure that we're only taking good shots. And if we see a deer, we see a really, really nice buck, but we don't get a shot at it, that deer was still great to see. It was still a great experience. It was still another way to enjoy the outdoors, but only take good shots and you won't be disappointed. Number 3, keep learning. Not just keep learning about the crossbow. You want to keep learning about the crossbow course because you want to learn about how to maintain the crossbow and how to store the crossbow and how to transport it and how to make your shots even more accurate than they are when you first take that thing out of the box and put it together. You want to do that. You want to keep learning about the crossbow. But to make crossbow interesting, to maintain that interest, keep learning about the outdoors as well. One of the things I picked up this summer is I started looking at different plants that are growing in the field, looking at native vegetation. Food plots, another way to keep learning about the outdoors. Keep researching deer. Get a subscription to Deer and Deer Hunting Magazine and read about that if you want. But keep learning. It will maintain your interest in the crossbow, and that way you can continue to improve your skills. Of course, a big part of that is subscribing to Death by Bunjie. All right, we're down to number 2 in the crossbow tips. Number 2 is closer is better. Archery hunting is all about getting up close and personal with deer. That's what I love about it. That's why I love the crossbow. It allows me to enjoy that right up close and personal and see deer at eye level when I'm hunting out of a blind, but get close to them. Get within, I've been 5 yards from a deer, and that is awesome. You can't beat it. What I recommend you do is take advantage of that and recognize that that's the fun part of crossbow hunting. Too many times I look at people on the internet and I read these comments about, hey, I can make an 80-yard shot with my crossbow. If I want to take 80-yard shots, I would be out there with my rifle shooting deer. Crossbow hunting is all about getting up close and personal. There is nothing better to me than setting up a food plot with an ambush scenario where I get a deer exactly where I want it to be at 10, 20 yards, take a shot on that deer broadside. That means that my plan, my strategy worked out perfectly. Don't get caught up with all the hype about long shots and about how crossbows can or can't make long distance shots. It doesn't matter. The key is closer is better. That's what crossbow hunting is all about. That's the whole reason that you bought this thing. That's the whole reason I bought Bunjie here, was to get up close and personal with deer. Don't ruin that by trying to take long shots. Keep those shots at 40 yards and less, and you will have great crossbow success. All right, and here we are. Here is the number 1 tip from me, the number 1 tip from Bunjie about crossbow success, and that is accuracy is everything. Nothing is more important in crossbow hunting than accuracy. An accurately placed shot will take care of a deer at 30, 40 yards easily. You will have a short blood trail if you are accurate and if you place that arrow exactly where it was supposed to go. There is an old adage in archery hunting, you hear Ted Nugent say this all the time, aim small, miss small. That's everything, and it certainly applies to crossbow hunting. Just because you have a nice big broad head and you think you can cut a big hole in a deer and all that good stuff does not mean that it's okay to take shots that are haphazard. Doesn't mean that it's okay to go out there and hunt when your crossbow's not sighted in. I can hit on a non-windy day, and I'm not bragging, I'm just telling you that that's the way it's supposed to be. But I can hit a quarter at 40 yards with this crossbow repeatedly. So this crossbow is so accurate at 40 yards that I can't shoot at the same spot every time, because I will either at least hit the other arrow, if not just take off the vein or something like that. You have to be accurate with your crossbow. Accuracy is number one. Well, that's it. That's the 10 tips from me, the 10 tips from Bunjie about crossbow success. I hope you have a great crossbow season coming up wherever you are hunting. Let me know if I missed anything. If you have other tips, leave me a comment. Hit us up on the Facebook page if that's what you want to do. Also, I'd love to hear your tips for crossbow success. Make sure you subscribe here to Death by Bunjie if you haven't done so already. Like our Facebook page, and until next time, all hail Bunjie! Second state is number one in my book. Don't get caught up in the latest and greatest. Boy, that's an easy thing to get caught up in. Got company. Chicken just laid an egg.